Hi, welcome to Concept Mastery Primary 4 lessons. Now, today we are going to go to the basics of how to do whole numbers up to 100,000. So, the lessons for Concept Mastery are very simple. The lessons are mainly to help those students who are struggling to improve their math. So as we go through the lesson, you will see how we go back to the basic. All right, how do we do simple concepts? All right, and if you have forgotten any concept, then these lessons will be useful to you. Okay, so let's look at the first lesson, which is how to write numbers in words. So some of the students or some of you may have some difficulty in writing out the words. So this has to do with your spelling. All right, if you spell the words wrongly, then of course you minus the marks. So let's look at the first one. How do we write out the number in words? Now, 7,000. All right, you can look at the number. How do you call this number? 7. And usually for the first letter, we will have a capital letter, right? Same as your English. So when you start a sentence, there's always a capital letter in front. And 7,000, and the thousand has no S. Okay, so we don't put any S in front, behind. And there's a comma. Why is there a comma at the behind? Because as you keep reading, you will hear the word N. For example, 7,700 N. So there's a N. So when you hear the word N, then you will have to put a comma in front. So you have 700. Again, there's no S. Okay, the moment you put the S, then you minus marks already. And that's why you see the word N. So when you have this word N, then you must have the comma in front. And 35. So when you spell the word 30, all right, 35, there's a hyphen there. So any number that's less than 100, all right, 99, 78, 42, there's always a hyphen. So 35 with a hyphen in the middle. So that's how you spell the number. So 7,735. So no need full stop. All right, we don't need to have the full stop because this is not English. All right, the next one. Now you can see that if you look at this number, there is actually a gap in between. Right, in between there's a little small spacing, and you can see there are actually two groups. So how do you call this number? Now you look at the first group, which is 10. So you spell the first group. 10 what? 10,000. Okay, and of course there's no S. 10,000. Do I need to put a comma behind? Yes, because if you look at the second group, how do you read the second group? 200 N. So there's an N in the second group. So you must have the comma behind. So you continue to spell 200. Okay, no S again. And 93. Alright, so the word 90 is quite a common spelling mistake. Some of you spell N-I-N-T-Y, which is wrong. You spell the word 9, okay, N-I-N-E, then you add the T-Y at the back, 93. Alright, so that's how you spell the number. Alright, so 10,000, 293. Okay, let's go to the next one. Again, you see there's a spacing, alright? So you can see two groups. So you always call the first group, which is 79. So the first group, 70, and there's a hyphen, and 9. Okay, 79. Alright, another thing I want to remind all of you is that you try not to have cursive writing. Alright, some of you like to join the letters together, unless you're very neat. Otherwise, I wouldn't recommend cursive writing, right? So try to separate the letters so that the teacher can see the letters clearly on its own. So 79,000. So again, no S. And there's a comma. And you read the second group, 100. Okay, 100. N. So you have the word N. That's why you need to have the comma in front. Okay, so 79,000, 108. Okay, let's try another one. Alright, so you have a spacing again in the middle. How do you read the first group? So you have 68. Okay, and there's a hyphen because it's less than 100. So any number that's less than 100, you put a hyphen in the middle. So 68,000. So remember, don't put any S. Alright, 68,000, and there's a comma. Then how do you read the second group? 741. Alright, and then there's a hyphen again. So 68,000, 741. Alright, so it's not very hard to write into words. Alright, now the next one maybe might be a little challenging or a little different. So same thing, you have two groups again, right? So you call the first group 52,000. So 50, alright, how do you spell 50, right? And then there's a hyphen, 2, alright, 52,000. Alright, do I need to put the comma? Well, if you look at the second group, how do you read 900? You don't hear the word n, so there's no need to put a comma. So when you spell, it's 52,000 and 900. So there's no need for any comma, because when you read the second group, there's no comma in the second group. So you replace a comma with the word n, 52,000 and 900. Okay, now the last one. Now, by now, you should be quite good at writing in words already. So the only challenge is that you need to know how to spell the words. All right, Mr. Tong can't teach you how to spell the words, so you have to. You may need to have a spelling list of all the different words to spell. Okay, now, so 93. Right. So again, you name the first group. Like you need to know how to spell 90. Right, 90 hyphen 3. All right, 93,000. And no S again. Do I need to put the comma or not? Well, if you read the second group, how do you read? 500N. So there's an N. So you must have the comma. So 93,000, 5. Alright, 500 and 68. Alright, so how do you spell 60? Alright, and then there's a hyphen again, and 8. And that's it. Alright, that's how you spell numbers into words. Okay, so not very hard actually. Okay, now let's go on to the next one. Okay, now we have to write the words in numerals. Well, one of the common mistakes that most students or some students make is to do mental. Right, means you look at the first one, 13,591. Okay, you can do that if you are good. Alright, if you are good in your numbers, then you can write that. But for those who are struggling, alright, you don't know how to come up with the numbers. Is there a shortcut? I won't say it's a shortcut, but is there a more careful way of doing? Yes. You look at the words one by one, change it into numerals one by one. So you have 66,000, and then there's a 14. Then what do? You just plus them together. Alright, so you do your working, you plus them together, you will get 66,014. Alright, now when you write the numeral, I think it's good if you can leave a little spacing in between, right? In between the two groups, right? Then it looks a bit nicer, right? Like 13,591. So leave a little gap, right, in between, so that you have two groups, right? Two clear groups. 13,000, there's a 13 there, and then the second group is 591. Okay? Alright, now how about the next one, number 3? What number is that? So you have 33,000. So I will write into numeral, and then 600, and then you plus them together. Okay, if it's easy, then you do mentally. But if it's too hard to plus them mentally, then you do working. So you have 33,600. Okay, alright, next one, 2,720. So let's change it one by one. So 2,720. So you add the numbers together, and you will get 2720. Okay, and the last one, 50,000. All right, 827. So you just plus them all together. All right, and if you plus them all together, then what numeral do you get? You will get 50,000. Then leave a spacing in between, 827. Okay, so this, even though this may look very simple to many of you, but those of you who struggle to write in numerals, now you should be changing all the words one by one, and then you plus them together. Okay, that is a more careful way of doing. Alright, now the next one is your place value. Values, and what do you mean by stands for? What do they represent? Now, let's look at the first one. Now, in 27,035, which digit is in the thousands place? Now, if you look at one digit at a time, now if you look at my arrow, this is the ones, right? You have 5 ones, and then this is the 3 tens, and the hundreds place, and then this is the thousands place, and this is the 10,000th place. So you must know the different place value. Right, the place value gets bigger as you go to your left side. Okay, so on the right side, you always have the smallest place value, which is your ones, followed by tens, hundreds, and thousands, and then 10,000s. So which digit is in the thousands place? That will be 7, right? The 7 is in the thousands place. All right, now in 95,321, which digit is in the hundreds place? So let's compare. So you have ones, all right, the ones place, then tens, and then the hundreds place. So the digit 3 is in the hundreds place. Okay, now which digit is in the, or in 74,691, the digit 7 is in the what place? Now, when you are asked for what place is that, then you need to write in words. Like if you notice the above, can you see the hundreds, right? The hundreds and the thousands place. So you have to write in words. So the digit 7 is in the 10,000s. So you can't write like this. If you write like that, that is wrong already. Alright, it's wrong. You need to write in words. So that will be 10,000s, and there's a S. Okay, there's a S behind 10,000s place. So when you see the word place, then you need to write in words. Okay, the digit 3 in 39405 is in what place? So if you look at, this is ones, tens, hundreds, thousands, and again 10,000s. Right, you have the 10,000 place again. All right, so 10,000s. So do take note. Do not write in numbers. You have to write in words. 10,000s. Okay, now next one, value. In 91245, all right, Mr. is going to just call the digit one by like 91245 instead of saying 91,245 is very tedious. So I'll just say 91245. So in 91245, the value of the digit 9. Now when you see the word value, then your answer will have to be in numeral. So you look at the digit 9. What is the value of this digit 9? It is in the 10,000 place. So the value is 90,000. So which means that you have to write your answer in numeral. Okay? So you must know when to write in numeral and when to write in words. Alright, another one. In 72350, the value of the digit 0 is what? Well, this is in the ones place. So the value of the digit 0 is still 0. Right? Because you have 0 ones. 0 ones means nothing. Still 0. Okay, so remember, so if you see the word value, you have to write your answer in numeral. Alright, what happens if you see stands for? It's the same as value. So the digit 5 in 25032 stands for what? So again, you have to write your answer in numeral. So that will be 5,000. It's the same as value. So it stands for 5,000. And the digit 3 in 95430 stands for, so it's in the tens place. The 3 is in the tens place, so it stands for 30. So you need to write in numeral. So when do you write in words? When you see what place. Alright, when you see what place is the digit, then you have to write in words already. Got it? Okay, now let's go on. And rounding off. Now rounding off, some of the students or some of you have difficulty trying to round off. You forgot how to round off, or you don't understand how to round off. So is there a way to do that? Yes, I think it's something similar to what your teacher has taught you. Alright, so rounding off to nearest tens. Nearest tens or 10 has a 0. There's 1 0 in 10, right? There's 1 0. So you just have to look at the one digit at the back. Like 47, I want to round off 47 to the nearest tens. So I look at one digit at the back. And then I ask this question, is this digit 5 or bigger? If it's 5 or bigger, then I add 1 on the next digit. Right? You add 1 on 4. And so it becomes 5. Alright, 5. And then how about the digit at the back? It becomes 0. Alright, so you have 5 tenths or 50. So when you round off to the nearest tens, there is only 1 0 in a 10. So you look at one digit at the back. And then you ask the question, is it 5 or bigger? If yes, you add 1 on the next digit. Let's look at one more example. How about 122, rounding off the nearest tens? Look at one digit at the back. Is it 5 and bigger? No, it is not 5 and bigger, so you don't add anything, right? Nothing to, there's no adding, so you just ignore. Ignore means you still have 12, right? 12 is still the same, and then the last digit will become a 0. So when you round off the nearest tens, the last digit has to be a 0, right? The last digit, okay? All right, now next one, 475. Look at the last digit. Is it 5 and bigger? Yes, so you add 1 on the next digit, and you will get 48. And the last digit must always be a 0 because nearest tens, right? Tens has 1 0. Okay, 699, rounding off the nearest tens. Look at the last digit. Is it 5 and bigger? Yeah, add 1 on the next digit, and you will get 70. So 70 tens, right? 70 tens. So the nearest tens is 700. Okay, so that's how you round off the nearest tens. You look at the last one digit at the back, and then you ask whether is it 5 or bigger. Right? A very important question to ask. Okay, now let's go on to the next one. How about nearest hundreds? Similar, just that hundreds have 2 zeros. So what do? You look at 2 digits at the back. Alright, so what is 120 to the nearest hundreds? You look at the last 2 digits, okay, which is 20. And then you look at the bigger place value. So which is the bigger place value? Is it the ones or is it the tens? The tens place is the bigger place value. Then you look at the digits in the bigger place value. Is it 5 and bigger? No, it's not 5 and bigger, so ignore. So you just write 1, alright, just write 1. And then the last 2 digits at the back must be zeros because nearest hundreds. Right, hundreds must have 2 zeros. So when you round off, your answer must have 2 zeros at the back. Okay, another one. Now, 805. Look at the last 2 digits, okay, last 2 digits, and then look at the bigger place value, right? You have the ones place, you have the tens, right? So you look at the tens place. The tens place is bigger than the ones place. So you look at the 0, and is it 5 and bigger? No, it's not. So you don't add 1. So it will still be 8, right? 800, okay? Right, 800. Okay, now another example. Okay, what is the nearest hundreds? Look at the last 2 digits, okay, the last 2 digits, and look at the bigger place value. Look at the bigger one, the bigger digit. Is it 5 and bigger? Yes, you add 1. And then you will get 14. So what's the nearest hundreds? 14 hundreds. Okay, all right, now some more. Last one, look at the last 2 digits, and look at the bigger digits. Is it 5 and bigger? Yes, so you add 1. Okay, add 1, and that'll be 6100. If it's not 5 and bigger, then you don't add 1. Okay? Alright, now let's look at rounding off to nearest thousands. Okay, nearest thousands. Now, nearest thousand is also simple. 3 zeros. So you look at the last 3 digits. Alright, so for example, you have 12785. How do you round off to nearest thousand? Look at the last 3 digits. Okay, and you look at the bigger place, the biggest place value, right? The biggest of them. And that's 7. So is 7 5 and bigger? Yes. So you add 1 on the next digit, and you will get 13,000. Okay. All right. Let's go to the next one. Look at the last 3 digits, and look at the biggest of them. Okay. And is it 5 and bigger? No. So you don't do anything. So it will still be 72, right? 72,000. So the last 3 digits must always be zeros. Because nearest thousands has 3 zeros. So your answer must have at least 3 zeros behind. Alright, the next one, look at the last 3 digits and look at the biggest of them. Right, the biggest place value of them. Is it 5 and bigger? Yes. So you add 1 on the next digit, and that will be 80. Right, 80,000. Okay? Alright, and then keep going. Last 3 digits. Alright, look at the biggest of them. Is it 5 and bigger? No. So you don't add 1. So it will still be 26,000. Okay, got it? Right? If you still don't understand, play the video again because rounding off can be quite easy for some of you. It can also be quite hard. So what you do is replay this part of the video to try to understand what I said. Alright, and if you still don't understand, give some comments. Alright, give some comments on my Facebook page. And then Mr. Ong will think of another way to make it even simpler. Okay, so let's go on to another one. Okay, now how do you find the value of each of the following? Alright, so how do you find the value? So what do you do? Now this is a very common question in the exam, and some students always get this wrong because again they do mental sums, and that is very dangerous because because of the numbers that are a bit tricky, right? When you plus them together, right, or when you try to do your mental sum, it's not as direct as you think. For example, some of you may write down 2,600, 4 tens, and 41, and then you may start doing something like this: 2, 6, 4, 1, 4. Okay, so that's what some students they will do, right? Well, is it correct? Now let's see. Change the words again one by one into numerals. So 2,000, 600s, 4 tens means you put the 0 behind, right? 14 ones means 14 times 1, or still 14. And then what do? You plus them together. So I don't think I would like to do mental sum for this. So I would like to add them together, and then 40, and then plus 14. And then I just plus them together. So you have 4, then you have 5, 6, and then 2. And you can see that the answer is 2,654. Right? So it's not as simple as you think. Right? It's not just look at the digits and then just put a number there. Alright, for another example, so same thing, am I going to write 63518? Is the number 63518? No, it's not. Alright, because if you change the words into numerals one by one, and then you plus them together, so what do you get? Now you have 6,000. 3,500 means you just add 2 zeros behind. 110, right, is add 1 zero behind. 8 ones is 8. And then you plus them together. 6,000, then 3,500, then 10 plus 8, of course, we can do mental. So you have 18. And then you will have 815 or 9518. And that's different from the answer that we put at the beginning. See, it's 9,518. So in the exam, you want to do this. Alright, this is very safe and very careful. Alright, let's go on to another one. Now, you have 110,000, 19,000s, 400s, 4 tens, 6 ones. Wow, so let's change them all into numerals. So 10,000, 19,000, 400s, 4 tens, and 6 ones. Okay? And even when you want to when you want to add them, try not to do mental because the numbers are very big. So I would like to just put the numbers down. And 446, okay, maybe I can add the 400 and I can add the 40 and the 6 together, right? So you just add them together, and then now you plus. So 6, 4, 4, and here 9 and 2. So what is the final numeral? So you have 29,446. Yeah? So it's not very hard. Once you catch it, alright, then you find that you don't lose your marks so easily. Alright, next one. 310,000, 4,000s, 2,200s, 8 tens, 18 ones. Alright, change it all into numerals one by one. So 30,000. 310 means 30,000. 4,000, add 3 zeros behind. 2,200s, add 2 zeros behind. Okay? And then 8 tens, add 1 zero behind. And 18 ones is 18 times 1. And then you just plus them. So 30,000, 4,000, 2,200 or 2,200, 80 plus 18, that will be 98. And then you just add them. So you have 8, 9, 2, 6, 3. So your numeral is 36,298. Okay? Alright, let's go on to the last one. Alright, so 210,000, that will be 2 tens. 2 tens is 20. 20,000. 16,000, alright, and 90 ones will be 90 times 1, or 90, still 90. Alright, then you have 20,000 plus 6 or 1,600 and plus 90. So you add them together, and 21,690. Alright, it may seem very long, okay, long way of doing, the longer way of doing, but if you can get your marks, I think you should do this, right? Instead of making the mistakes, like what I showed you just now, just doing the shorter way, right? Sometimes the shorter way may get you into trouble, right? By doing mentally all the time, you may find that you make careless mistakes. So you should be doing this, right? This is the more effective way to ensure that you don't make any careless mistakes. Okay, let's go on to the last one. Okay, now the last page, you need to know how to make the smallest number, right, and how to make the biggest number. So let's look at the first one, how to make the smallest odd number. Now, first thing is you must know how to make the smallest number first. So to make the smallest number, you always start with the smallest digit, and then you end with the from smallest to the biggest digit. Alright, so that is your smallest number. But is this number even or odd? You look at the last digit is even. What are even numbers? 0, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. All these are even numbers. What are odd numbers? Then you have 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, and so on. So if I want to make this into an odd number, I look at this number and look for an odd digit. So is there an odd digit? Yeah, there's an odd digit over here. Alright, why not 3? Because I want the smallest number. So my number must start with the smallest digit, which is 3 already. So I will take the other odd number, the other odd digit, and I have to switch place. Alright, switch place with the even at the back. So I got 3. Alright, so what do you do? Okay, by the way, not switch place, right? Miss Dong cannot, I'm not going to not switch place. So what I'm going to do is, okay, it's not switching place. So let me just erase this part. So let me just reteach this part again. So I have 3, 5, 6, 8. So what do? I just take out the 5, right? Take out the 5, and I shift the 6 to the left, and I shift the 8 to the left as well, and the 5 will go over here. Alright, so that is my smallest, alright, my smallest odd number. Alright, so to make the smallest odd number, what must you do? You must start with the smallest digit to the biggest digit. And then the last digit, you have to make sure that it is an odd digit. Okay, let's try one more example. Right, you have 9, 2, 6, 3. So how to make the smallest odd? Start with the smallest digit, 2, and then 3, and then 6, and 9. So you can see the numbers start from small to big. And then you look at the last digit. Is it odd? Yes. So the whole number is an odd number. Okay? Alright. Now, how do we form the smallest even? Now, to find the smallest even, the same thing. You always start with the smallest digit and end with the biggest digit. So 3, 5, 8, and 9. Right? That's the smallest number. But is it the even? Look at the last digit. It's not even. So what do? I look at any digits that are even. Yeah, there's an 8 here. So I just push it to the right. So I will have 3, 5, alright, and then the 9 I just bring inside, and then the 8 at the back. Right? So that is my smallest even number. Okay? So you just have to make sure the last digit is an even. Okay, now the next one, smallest even number. Smallest is 0, right? That's the smallest digit. But your number cannot start with 0. So which means that you have to start with the next smaller digit, which is 1. So 1, 0, 8, and 9. Right? So that's your smallest number. But is that even? You look at the last digit. No, it's not even. So what do? You switch place with the 8. So that'll be 1, 0, still the same 2 digits at the front. 1, 0, but the 8, you switch place with the 9. So now you have the smallest even number, which is 1098. And you look at the last digit is even. That's why the number is even. Okay, now let's go to biggest. How do you find the greatest number? Now, to find the biggest number, you start with the biggest digit. 9, 6, 4, 0. From big to small. Right? Biggest to smallest. And look at the last digit that is even. So you need to make the an odd number. So how do you make odd numbers? Okay, now if you look at all these digits, 9 is 9640. Which digit is odd? The 9. The 9 is an odd. So you have to push the 9 all the way to the back, and your 6 bring to the left, 4 bring to the left, or shift to the left, 0 shift to the left, and the 9 go to the 9 will be at the back already. So that's how you make the greatest odd number, because the last digit is now odd. So the whole number has the number has now become odd number already. Okay, so to make the biggest number, you start with the biggest to the smallest, and then you look at the last digit and see whether is it odd. If it's even, then what do? Then you have to look for an odd digit to replace the even digit at the back. Okay, let's look at one more example if you are still a bit confused. All right, how do you find the biggest odd number? So 8 start with the biggest, and 3, and then 2, and then 0. Right, that's the biggest number, right? But is it odd? No, the last digit is even. So we need to do something. We need to look at odd digits. Do you see a 3? A 3. And what do? You have to switch place with the 0. So you take the 3, right? Right. So you take 3, you take out the 3, and you shift the 2 and the 0 to the left. So shift 2 to the left, 0 shift to the left, and the 3, what do? You put at the back. And now the last digit has become odd. And the whole number, right, the number has now become odd number also. So your biggest odd number is 8203. Alright, now last part, greatest even number. Start with the biggest digit, 9, 8, 5, 3. Alright, that's the biggest number. So how do you get the even? This number is not even, it is odd. So I look for an even digit, which is 8. And then what do? I shift the 5 and the 3 to the left, and the 8 I put at the back. So now it becomes even already. Right? The number has become even, and it's also the biggest even number. Okay? Alright. Okay, let's look at last one. Now, biggest number, 5, 4, 3, 1. Right, that's the biggest number, but is it correct? No, it's not correct. The last digit is odd. So look for an even digit, which is 4. And then what do you do with the 4? You write 5, and then shift the 3 to the left, shift the 1 to the left, and the 4 you put at the back. So now the number has become even because the last digit is also even. Alright, and your biggest number is now 5314, which is the biggest even number. Okay, so there you go. We are done with our first lesson on concept mastery. Now, it's a very simple lesson, but some students do get into trouble with this kind of questions. So hopefully, after you watch the lessons, you know how to do better now. All right, how to write in words, how to write the numbers in words, how to round off, and so on. All right. Now, in the next coming lesson, we will be doing factors and multiples. Right. Factors and multiples. There are shortcuts. Right. There are some shortcuts that you can actually use to get your multiples faster. All right. So stay tuned to the next lesson, and I will see you soon.